Welcome back. As more people look to take charge of their personal safety, one local academy is offering training focused on responsible gun ownership and self-protection. Target World Academy up there in Sharonville has their grand opening. It's coming up a little later this month. They have a variety of courses for you, taught always by professionals, from safe handling to situational awareness. They're making sure that gun owners really have the knowledge and information to keep themselves and, of course, others safe.
And joining us today is Maurice Coffey, the owner of Target World Academy there in Sharonville. Maurice, thanks so much for being here with us today. Okay, so talk about this important topic for people who may not know. Explain Target World Academy and what you specialize in.
Well, Target World Academy is Cincinnati's training first indoor shooting range and what we want to call a firearm education center. So what we hope we specialize in is helping users become safe, responsible owners of firearms. I think what makes us different is that we are focusing on training and education. So making sure that if you're a first-time shooter, thinking about owning a firearm, or if you're a woman looking for personal protection, or just an experienced shooter, we want to make sure we meet you where you are and start first with education and training.
I think it's interesting to point out here that you worked for Procter & Gamble for years and years and then get into taking over and buying Target World and turning it into this academy to really empower people here locally. If someone chooses, and I mean, not everybody, guns aren't for everybody, but if somebody is interested in owning a gun, talk to us about the importance of responsible gun ownership and storage for the people who, as a mom of 3 boys, I always have been super leery to have a gun in my house, and yet I'll have friends that are saying, listen, if you're a responsible gun owner, that won't be a problem.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll tell everyone all the time, I thought I was a gun person until I met gun people. And what I realized is I'm learning, as you said, I'm from having this long career in Procter & Gamble, I know everything about marketing and consumer and all of that. I had to learn about gun ownership. And one of the first things they taught me is that there's 4 safety rules that every owner of a gun should know. And that's treat every gun as if it's loaded. One of the most dangerous guns is one that someone thinks is unloaded. Keep your finger off the trigger. The natural tendency is when you reach for a firearm is you want to put your finger on the trigger, keep it off the trigger until you're ready to actually use it. And always point it in the safe direction. A lot of times people think it's a toy or play around with it. Owning a firearm, if you choose to, is not a toy. It's a very serious tool to protect you and your family. And the other piece is always know what's behind that target, especially, I mean, bullets don't stop. We hear that every day. And to your point, safe use of a firearm is only part of it. I mean, it's really about safe storage. There should never be, if you choose to have a gun in your home, there should never be an unauthorized usage or access to that gun. It should be safely stored. And even if you don't have children, having just visitors in your home, it should always be safely stored.
And Maurice, you guys are offering a variety of classes, some geared specifically toward women. How can women build confidence when it comes to personal protection?
We always say confidence is about knowledge and education and repetition. One of the things we've got encouraged with is that no matter where you're coming from in terms of your experience level, we want to meet you there. A lot of women have come in that we've been open since April, and a lot of women have come in and said they love the fact that they can ask questions. They love they can come in and not be intimidating or judgment. New paint, new lights, everything is brand new in the place, and we even have education courses specifically focusing on women.
Talk a little bit about education and how it can contribute to safer communities. What would you say to someone who is thinking about maybe purchasing a gun, but they're really nervous about the safety of it or these safety courses?
And that's generally who I built this place for, is folks that were nervous, contemplating the world's not getting any safer, and a lot of folks are wondering, is that time to protect my family and my home? Where do I start? How do I even want to do this? We accept you where you are, and you come into the place and we hold your hand. We've got special days for women, for Ladies' Day range on every Monday, where we do special education and special discounts for women. But we're open to everyone, no matter where you start or where your interests are. We try to meet that.
Maurice, thank you so much for enlightening us a little bit. And we always say, if it's up to you. If it's for you, great. If it's not, we get that too. But this is knowledge is power. Thanks so much for being here. And once again, Target World Academy has their grand opening later this month. It is June 28th. They're offering a variety of classes too. So if you've never touched a gun to then even experienced shooters, all of these classes are taught by professionals and catered toward you. So scan the QR code for more information. We'll have all of that on our website as well, WLWT.com.